Spirit Fam, Oracle Bree Marie back with you today. So today I've got a video for you that I'm really excited to make. It's about full moons and rituals and what it means, because you don't have to be a psychic or have any psychic abilities in order to be interested in the moon cycles and what they mean to you. Actually really wanted to start off this as a little series starting with the new moon, but I had some unexpected medical issues that prevented me from doing that. So here we are with the full moon, and that's what today's going to be about. New to my channel, Suddenly Psychic, I want to introduce myself. I am a clairaudient psychic medium, and I am a witchy woman is the new way I've been describing it. I really haven't decided yet if it's white witch, green witch, kitchen witch, this witch, that witch, but I'm a little witchy, so we're just going to leave it at that. But it's nice for you to join me, and I really hope that you take something valuable away from my video today. So I'm going to start off by explaining that Monday, April 26th, is our next full moon. It's actually going to be the day after I post this, or the day that I post it, so it might be today if today's the 26th. Then we have our full super moon. It's a pink super moon, but it's not going to be pink. It correlates with pink flowers that bloom in April, and this pink super moon is in Scorpio. So if you're new to moons, you don't really have to know what that means. You don't even have to know what moon it's in. I'm not going to get into that specifics today, because I really want to talk more about creating your own new moon routine. And some people call it a ritual, but to take away from any any terms about what a ritual is, we're going to call it a routine, because that's really what a ritual is. It's something that, it's like a routine that you do every full moon. So let's get into it. So how do we get a full moon? Well, a full moon is when the earth is in between the sun and the moon is fully illuminated. This is a time of optimism for the future and anticipation of your goals coming to fruition. Now, I didn't get to make the video yet, but we'll find out next time. The new moon is when we set intentions for manifestation, but the full moon is actually when we go within and we reflect. This is a time to reflect on your intentions, to reflect on your goals, and also a time to release. Release habits, releasing of old thoughts, releasing of old patterns. The full moon illuminates what has and what hasn't been working for you. This is a time of endings and releasing what no longer works for you. The full moon is a time of illumination, when you can really see the trouble areas and the problem spots in your life, and you can release them and let them go. With this full moon in Scorpio, we are more passionate, we react more sharply, and we're willing to go to extremes. Moon is about our feelings, and Scorpio is about intensifying those feelings. Scorpio energy is passionate, mysterious, and loyal. You might find that fights and upsets in your life right now are actually creating opportunities for breakthroughs, eliminating bad habits or people from your life. See, the sun represents our outer world, our ego, our identity, our personality. Moon represents our inner world. Hidden emotions, desires, our shadow self, fears, worries, and dreams are all a part of the moon. During the full moon, the sun and the moon are on opposite sides of the zodiac. There's a tug of war between two opposing signs. This means that emotions, feelings, and mental processes are being heightened. The moon represents our deepest personal needs, and we can use the knowledge and energy of the moons to better connect with ourselves. Okay, so here we go. Let's get right into an idea of what my full moon routine looks like and what you can make for your own. It doesn't have to be just like mine. It can be simple, or it can be really in-depth, and you don't have to do all of it on the day of the full moon. I like to start typically a day before the full moon, and then I go a day after the full moon. That way I'm not stressing and overwhelming myself when I'm supposed to be releasing and relaxing. First on my list of a full moon routine is to cleanse yourself and your space. Your space can be your office, your home, wherever you spend the most time, or even just your bedroom. So I personally like to do this with a smudge stick. I have always loved the moon, and I have always been obsessed with the moon. It's meant so many things to me, but I didn't really know the specifics. So I am on my 5th month of really developing and refining my own full moon routines. So I personally like to use dragon's blood sage for my house cleansing and blessing. And this is because dragon's sage not only cleanses of negative energy like regular sage, but it also heals and protects the energy that is inside. And then I used to use regular old white sage, but you can also use juniper or a Palo Santo stick. I've heard of washing your front door with peppermint water or peppermint oil. There's so many different ways to cleanse and bless your home. You just have to find the one that works best for you. I hope to, in the near future, put out a video of how I do my house cleansings. I'm not sure, it might be something quick on TikTok or Instagram, or I might make a more in-depth full-length video here on my YouTube channel. Right along with cleansing and blessing your house, you should cleanse yourself and protect yourself of any negative energy. Now, the best way to do this is an Epsom salt bath. Epsom salt actually has specific properties that release negativity and release negative energy. But if you don't have Epsom salt, that's fine. Take a bubble bath, throw a bath bomb in there, have a milk bath. That's a new good one. This full moon cycle, I am actually going to be putting some moon water that I left out the last full moon into my bath for release. So I'm really excited to try that out. But try your own techniques. It's really just a releasing bath of releasing negative energy and really kind of taking that moment to meditate on what hasn't been working out for you and what has, releasing any negative thoughts. And throw some candles in there, you know, throw a crystal in there, or not in there, not in there. Have crystals around you. And see, I don't generally take baths because I don't like the size of the bathtub we have right now. So I never take baths. But with my new moon routines, once a month, and now I really look forward to it. Once a month, I go all out and I have me an incredible bath, and I usually do my full moon meditation while I'm in there. But I've started to put rose petals and lavender or chamomile. You know, I've really been starting to go all out, but that's just because that's where I've evolved to. But for starters, cleanse your house with some basic sage and go ahead and take you a nice Epsom salt bath. So this bath is going to be a great time for you to collect your thoughts. So this bath is going to be a great time for you to sit with your own thoughts and just meditate. By meditate, I really mean just sit in the silence and sit with your own thoughts. See what comes to you. See what you subconsciously, just in the silence, what comes to you. You know, sometimes we don't do that enough, or we overthink what meditating means. Meditating just means being in the silence of your own mind, of your own self, and connecting with spirit and connecting with your higher self. Now here comes the fun part. It's time to write down what you plan on releasing. And this is something that I typically recommend doing the few days prior to the full moon, working the way up to the full moon, because I like to have them ready for me on the full moon, just already ready. But if you're writing them down on the full moon, that's great too. Write down any thought patterns, behaviors, emotions, people, circumstances, and situations that are not serving you. I like to take a photo of mine personally because I burn my releases, so I like to have an image of it to reflect back to on the next month. But you can just have a journal, have a full moon journal, and every month you can write in there what you release. Even if it's one thing, if it's one powerful thing, it can really change your life. Review last month's releases and reflect on them. Reflect on the releases of last month and of now. Now, here is a great example. 2 months ago on the full moon, I released my social anxiety, and I actually have it on Instagram reel. I burned my release, and I stated to the universe, and I gave it out there after 34 years of dealing with it. I was like, I released my social anxiety, and that was it. You don't do anything about it after that. You just put it out there to the universe, and the universe does crazy things to help you when you work with it. So within 8 to 10 days after that release, because it's been about 6 weeks now, I woke up one day and just decided to start my own YouTube channel. And like, I have pretty severe social anxiety. It's really difficult for me to leave my house. Something as simple as a phone call or a FaceTime call, let alone making a video like this, is definitely something that was not in the cards for me. And I had actually accepted it. But I figured, hey, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. You know, I'm going to write down, I release social anxiety. You know, you feel it with your heart, you feel it with your soul. And then I personally like to burn it because it just makes me feel like I watch the smoke and I'm really releasing, like and then it's gone. I don't think about it anymore. I'm not dwelling on it anymore, because I really put those worries to spirit, into the universe, to see what they're going to do for me. So yeah, I released my social anxiety, and now I have my own YouTube channel that it's pretty crazy. It's pretty special. And the way I see it is, if only 5 people watch a video that I put out, there's 5 people that I could have inspired or helped to come to a realization of something that they wouldn't otherwise have known. So for me personally this month, and of course if you're a beginner, I don't expect you to burn your releases, and if you do burn them, it's really simple. You can use a lighter, a candle, be safe, do it outside. Say your releases, speak them out loud into the universe as you burn them, and then drop them in an ashtray and watch them go. It's pretty interesting, because you're going to see some burn up real quick, and then some really take their time. And to me, that's really showing, you know, which ones are going to be released right away and which ones are going to be a little bit of a struggle. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So I'm doing something a little special for myself this full moon, because I've been getting a lot into candle magic. So it's crooked. I am going to be using this black candle for my releases this full moon, and I am actually going to take a toothpick and I'm going to put right in there. I'm going to carve out release. I'm going to put symbols and signs, and I'm just going to write everything that can fit, or draw little things that that I want to release. And then, you know, I set this candle with the intentions of releasing past hurts and wounds and problems and anything and everything that just doesn't serve my highest good. So I'm actually going to be rubbing some oil on it. And this is something that I'll get into more in another video for whoever's interested. But I just wanted to share with you guys, but also document for myself, all of the different stages and levels of evolution of my own personal full moon routines that I do. Last month, I think I shared on my Facebook page what I plan to release. Like, I release the belief that I'll never be able to own my own house. I release parental guilt. That was a big one. And by parental guilt, like, I didn't even have to know exactly what it meant. It could be something as silly as how badly I feel for sending my kid off to school with a snack, or feeling, you know, regret and shame for raising my voice and overreacting about a specific situation. You know, parental guilt is something that we all have, and you have to release it. You can't just harbor it in there, because it's going to bring you this shame and this feeling of, you know, just a really bad feeling, and you don't want to have that. You don't need to have that. So that is something that I released. And since I found that just spending time around my kids now, I'm more joyful, because I'm not harboring this guilty feeling. And just so you know, if there was black on my forehead, my husband just told me, not nearly as bad as the video with lipstick in my teeth though. Okay, so the next fun thing to do on a full moon is something that I only started doing last month. Leave a jar of water. I used a large mason jar with a lid. Leave it out to charge under the moonlight. This is really neat, because you can use this water for so many things. Like I said, I'm actually going to put it in my full moon bath this month. I use it personally for some of my tinctures and stuff that I have been creating for release. You can use it for so much stuff. Like, literally, you don't only have to release stuff on a full moon. If there's something that you really, really, really need to let go any other time of the month, just take a sip of that fully charged full moon water and release it. Say your release and release it. That's another way. There's so many things that you can do. And I just thought, how cool is that to have a jar of charged full moon water? Like, that's pretty cool. So I put that out there so you guys can start trying that out right away, as opposed to waiting 3 or 4 months until I found out about it. Okay, so next I would recommend, if you have crystals, whether you have one or you have a ton, now is a great time to charge them. Bring them outside and leave them under the moonlight, at least for a couple hours. I think my first month I left them out all night because I knew it wasn't going to rain or anything like that, and I have a safe enclosed backyard where I know that no one or nothing's going to mess with them. But the last couple months it's been pretty rainy and drizzly here, so I would just kind of bring them out for a couple hours, which is better than nothing, because for me, the moon starts in my front yard and then makes its way into my backyard, and around 10, between 10 and midnight, is when it's really right over my backyard. So that's actually usually when I sit out here. I sit back here with my little tray of all of my crystals. I burn my releases and I let my crystals charge and cleanse. Okay, so I am making this video just for anyone interested in developing their own full moon routine. So the next one might not apply or pertain to everybody, and that's fine. But something else that I would suggest doing on the full moon is a full moon tarot spread. So this is something that you can do yourself if you have your own deck of cards, or you can have me do it. You can have anyone that you know help you in doing a full moon tarot spread. This is a great time to find out what gives you joy, what are your gifts that you want to share with the world, and to really dig deep in finding your unrecognized potential in yourself. Again, with the full moon bringing illumination on subjects, and it also brings a heightened intuition. Like, I know personally my psychic abilities are very much heightened during the full moon and the new moon, and I notice that I get so much more action and interaction, and like they say, the crazy stuff happens around a full moon, but typically 3 days before and 3 days after a full moon, I am really busy with customers and business and readings and just random questions. I just got a question yesterday. Can you please pull a card for me? Is getting into body sculpting something good for me? Is this person my twin flame? Is this person, do they like me? I just get so many random messages, and now is a great time to do any sort of tarot spreads that have to do with the full moon. That I just have to put out there that I'm standing outside today, and right where I'm zoning off into is the most beautiful red cardinal. I've only seen this bird twice in the last 9 months. The first time was after my cousin passed away. So seeing this bird days after he passed away, I really felt a strong connection with his spirit. And then a friend from high school passed away, unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, and I just found out the other day. And then this red cardinal came and sat on my roof right in front of where I was. So again, that was a sign for me that he was coming to say hi. And then right now, while I'm recording this video is very powerful. It's something that I've been thinking about. Like, my mind has just been going and going and going with information for the last week. And I was really disappointed that I didn't get to put out my new moon video that I had really high hopes for. But Spirit just told me to keep going. Don't worry about my camera, my lighting, my audio, if I talk too much, because apparently being a YouTuber, there is a lot to know. And I do love to edit videos, but I don't have the time to edit them like the videos that I watch. I know I could do it, but I just don't have the time, unfortunately. So seeing this beautiful red cardinal just hanging out in the tree right in front of me right now really tells me that Spirit is glad that I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so the last thing that I would suggest to do on a full moon, and this is something that I would suggest for the beginners, because, right along with just taking a bath, cleansing your house, writing down your releases, some journaling and some affirmations. I am affirmations. I'm going to go over a few of them in a minute, but journaling is really great. Write down your releases. Start a gratitude journal. Start writing down, even if you only do it on the full moons, I would suggest once a day. But if you don't have time for that on the full moons in your journal, go ahead and keep reminding yourself of what you're grateful for. Send that gratitude out to the universe at the same time as you're asking for help in releasing your negative stuff, your old stuff, it doesn't even have to be negative or old or bad. It's just outdated. You know, we're always changing and growing and transforming. And in order to do that, we have to let go of, you know, outdated ways of thinking. It doesn't necessarily mean they were bad, or like, you know, your old ways of parenting or your old ways of doing things were bad. They were just old. And now you have new ways, better and improved. And in order to bring in the better and improved, we have to what? Completely release, completely let go, you know, surrender. It's a time to surrender. Raise your hands and surrender and say, I release this to the universe, to the heavens. I am done with it. Take it, please. Just watch and see what happens. It's crazy. Speaking of editing, I was hoping that I was going to be good enough at editing that I could include little snippets of, you know, me writing in a journal, my releases, me burning my intentions and all that fun stuff. And I didn't get to do it this time because there's just like, there's this overwhelming need to just put it out there. But on this full moon, if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I am going to be showing little reels and short videos of me burning my releases, of me charging my crystals. I think I'm about to put out a video of the many different ways to charge your crystals. That's really where Spirit has me right now, is just sharing my story, sharing my growth and my own personal transformation. And I think that's really going to help and inspire other people to follow their own paths. You know, you don't have to do things like everybody else. There is no two exact same full moon rituals. There's no two exact same psychics. There's no two exact same witches. There's no two exact same anybody. You know, we're all kind of our own thing, doing it in our own way when it's time for us to do it. So I'm super excited to kind of show out there for those who have been following me since day one, since the, you know, the end of December and the beginning of January, the different changes that I've made that really suit my soul and my highest good. Okay, so affirmations. You can say these in your head, but I would recommend saying them out loud and really feeling them. Some of them might be hard to believe at first, depending on, you know, your self-confidence level at the time, but you need to believe in them. You need to really feel them with all that you have. First affirmation I have for you is, I release what is no longer serving me. I open up to receive from my highest good. I surrender all fears and doubts. I let go of all that is not in alignment with my higher purpose. This is my favorite because it takes a lot to get to say this and to really feel it. I allow myself to receive all that I desire. Say that. And lastly, I want to cover with you guys some full moon journaling prompts. Ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do to move closer to my goal? What am I grateful for this cycle? You don't have to start a whole gratitude journal, but you can answer that one question. What am I grateful for this cycle? How am I feeling right now is something that's really important. And now where your intuition and your senses are are heightened, now is a great time to ask, how am I feeling right now? And be honest, be genuine. Share your truth, if with anybody, with yourself. Lastly, what does honoring my intuition look like? How does it make you feel when you've trusted your intuition and it's turned out right? If you're interested in more tips and tricks on heightening your intuition, I do have some videos on TikTok that I've been making, and stay tuned on my channel. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, all that good fun stuff that all the YouTubers say, and keep an eye out because I did one video on trusting your intuition. That's something you should definitely go back and check out. But I am far from done because our intuition really rules us if you let it. You know, if you don't let your ego take over all the time. And I want to help inspire and train and teach everybody how to do some more of that. Okay, so I know all of this might seem like a lot at first, but don't let it overwhelm you. Pick and choose what works for your full moon routine. Practices that you feel comfortable with. be a time of relaxation, reflection, and release. Not stressing about having the perfect routine. And a great example of that real quick was last month was my 4th full moon, where I've really gotten into a routine. I had my own ritual, and it's changing, it's shaping, and I had so many things. I was so excited for this full moon. You know, I had a list of things that I wanted to do. And then the day of the full moon, I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have to burn my releases. I have to take a bath. I have to bless the house. I have to journal. I got to do this, this, this. And then what was supposed to be a relaxing time of reflection turned into anxiety and stress and worry. And why? You know, that's why this month is the first month that I'm really realizing I'm going to cleanse and bless my house the day before the full moon. The full moon bath I am doing on the full moon. I feel like that's really special to have on the full moon, and to leave my crystals out to charge, burning intentions. But then some of the journaling and stuff like that can be done the day before or the day after. You choose when you can fit it into your schedule, but don't get overwhelmed like, oh no, I've got to do it all right now, because that kind of defeats the purpose of releasing. Instead, we're kind of trapping that negative energy in there. So, well, that is it for this video. I really hope that you learned something new and you found something that you could take away from it. If you're subscribed to my channel, thank you for your support. And if you are not, it'd be nice if you wanted to come join the Spirit Fam over here. We are a spiritual family, all intertwined and interlinked by one common theme, and that is that we are all divine specks of light. And you know, it's just so amazing to come together and connect with my spirit family. So I am going to say goodbye for now. I hope that you have a wonderful full moon, and if you do anything, at least get yourself in a bath, relax. You know, it's the midpoint of your month, and I promise to be telling you about the new moon once we get closer to the end of this cycle. Love, light, and blessings. Mwah. Bye.